It's really horrific. So I feel like there's this very deep, desire to learn more and get it accurate among most conservatives, whereas others are just kind of like, no, it's socialism, the end. And then on the left, it's just straight, either delusional ignorance or lying.
So now that competition's done, I'm going to do a couple months of conditioning, which is a higher volume. I like to do supersets. So today what I'm doing is most of my sets I'm doing a superset, a bench press, and then cable rows. And what I like to do is whatever kind of push exercise I'm doing, I try to mimic the pull exercise in the exact opposite direction. So if I'm pressing at an incline, I like to pull at a slight incline. If I'm benching, I do rows. If I'm overhead pressing, I'll do cable pull downs or pull ups. So basically I try to stay in the same plane of movement. And the theory behind that is it just keeps everything balanced. I also try to be able to pull as much as I can push. So the theory is if you can bench press 225 pounds for a set of 10, you should be able to row 225 pounds for a set of 10. That's not always, I try to get the weights as close as I can. So the last 6 weeks leading into competition, I was doing a pretty strict linear progression, and I'd whittled the exercises down to a minimalist program where I was essentially just doing the 3 core lifts, bench, deadlift, and squat, and then some variations. And I was specifically sticking to low volume, high intensity. Well, now I'm kicking the sets up from anywhere between 10 and 20, depending on the weight I'm working with. I'm doing a much higher volume. But interesting thing today while I was pressing, I discovered that I'm not only am I not in any kind of pain or discomfort on the bench, I'm just getting stronger. It just keeps going up. The other 2 lifts, my squat and the deadlift, everything kind of hurts. My knees are screwed up, and I feel like I got to back off and focus more on conditioning and healing. But the bench is just going nuts. I'm benching better now than I ever have in my entire life, and I just want to keep going. So today's program called for a working set of 315 pounds, as many reps as possible. And I tried to do the same reps and weight with rows. Now, obviously, I can't cable row 315 pounds, so I work up as close as I can get to it. But like I was saying, everything feels so great. I just decided to keep going. I don't know what came over me, so I totally broke programming today, and I slapped the slingshot on and just started going for it. The reason why at 47 I'm still competing and I am mostly injury free is because I do periodize, and usually after I compete I take a few months off and I switch gears. I'll change lifts completely. I'll even change lifting sports. I think my last competition I did CrossFit for a few months. I didn't really care for that. Recently got into Olympic lifting, tried to teach myself some of that stuff. Sometimes I'll just get into body weight movements for a couple months. Things like weighted pull-ups, calisthenics, that sort of thing. But I gotta be honest with you guys, I think I want to keep powerlifting. I think I want to do another meet. I gotta be smart about it though. I gotta look at the calendar. If there's nothing coming up soon, I might just have to slow down and take a month or 2 off, because there's no way I can just keep training for another 6 months straight like this. I just hit 315 for 7. Never in my life, ever. I think the most I've ever done was a really grindy 6. I've gotten 5 several times. I don't think I've ever gotten 7 reps at 315 in my life. The most I've ever done with a slingshot, I've only been using the slingshot for a couple months. The most I ever did on that was 405 pounds for a really ugly single where my butt came way off the bench, and I think that's in my opening video. Not only is my butt staying on the bench, my legs are firmly planted, this weight is just flying up. Should I keep going? Yep. So now at this point with the bar in my hands, I'm thinking, do I go for a double or do I just do a single and see if I could add more weight to the bar and just keep PRing? Well, either one's a PR. If I do 410 pounds, it's a PR. If I do 405 for 2 reps, it's a PR. I felt a little bit of shoulder discomfort on this last set. So, you know what? I decided, okay, that's enough for one day. Easy killer. You didn't get this far. You're 47 years old. You've been training for a long time. You know better. Don't be doing stupid stuff now. So for my accessory, I do 5 sets of 20 at 185 pounds wide grip. So I'm going really wide and I am not extending all the way. I'm not locking the arms out. So I'm really focusing on primarily just isolating the pectorals. So I'm trying to kind of take my arms out of arms and shoulders. I want to take out of this as much as possible. I don't think I could ever be a bodybuilder. And I love the sport. I like watching it, but I would be too self-conscious up on stage in a banana hammock, and I'd wind up just making goofy faces the entire time. Cable machine, I worked up to about 185 pounds, and anything heavier than that, and I couldn't pull it down to me. I was just lifting myself off the bench. While I didn't get nearly as much weight with the cable rows as I did the bench press, I made up for it in volume. So I was doing sets of 15 to 20 on these. There's a lot of powerlifters that'll tell you they don't care what their physique looks like, and I mean, I can't speak for all of us, but I'd say that's a lie. I think it's just an excuse that guys use when they put too much weight on. Well, you want to get bigger so you can lift more. Okay, keep telling yourself that. Alright, so I finished the day up with some close grip bench. I've mentioned these in previous videos, but just a quick recap. I do these with my elbows tucked in, and I use a bench block to create some space on my chest so that I can kind of isolate the triceps a little more. By pressing a few inches above your chest, it takes your shoulders and your pectorals out of the lift a little bit, and it focuses the lift more on the triceps. So I did my main bench press movement. I overloaded with the slingshot. I did my accessory sets with a really wide grip and a shortened range of motion to focus on the pecs. And then I did my finishing set, high volume, low weight, moderate weight. I'm doing sets of 30 with 135 pounds. It doesn't seem like a lot of weight, but towards the end there it starts getting really heavy. And that just finishes up by isolating the triceps. So you get the best of all 3 worlds. I did strength training, I did hypertrophy, and I threw arms in there at the end. So what do you guys think? Do you think I should just keep competing? Do you think I should look at the calendar and just pick another meet and go for it? I mean, I'm still progressing. I'm still getting better. Or should I play it safe, take a couple months off, regroup, get the body healed? What would you do? If your bench was still going up and you're benching more now than you've ever benched in your life, what would you do?